Dom DeMarco.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Well, come on inside and get yourself something cool to drink.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Listen. We got some things to talk about today. Y'all seen Deuce Vaughn? Did y'all see? Hey, let me tell y'all something, man. Let me just keep it real with you. Let me just be honest with you. I fear nobody. Will McClay is the guy. Will McClay is my guy. We doing a little double co-stream right now. So for everybody listening that's watching right now, I need you to understand. It's cool when you excited about your first round picks, and it's cool when you excited about your second round picks. But when your day 3 guys going crazy, Lordy. Listen, you guys. Appreciate y'all for being here. First and foremost, I'm your host, Voch Lombardi. I even got a little intro. Here we go.
Well, come on inside and get yourself something cool to drink.
And then I go,
AKA Ferrari.
VOCHLOMBARDI. Listen, one side, right? I'm gonna be looking here and I'm gonna be looking here. I'm looking at 2 chat boxes right now. We are co-streaming right now. On this side, I'm looking at my Voch Lombardi chat. Shouts out to the volume, VOCHLOMBARDI. Check me out on the volume also. And on this side of the chat, I'm looking at my Bleacher Report brethren, okay? So if y'all tapped in on Bleacher Report, appreciate y'all for being here. If you tapped in on the Voch Lombardi side, you know exactly what we got going today. Listen, man. Listen. We are here to give you a little bit of recap of what happened in all this preseason madness. And one thing that I want to do is I want to be sure to, give y'all the right thoughts. I don't want to hop on here and say things that I'm not sure of, like I don't know how Austin Richards played. I don't know how Matt Forniak played. Allow me to go and watch the film and I'll give you a solid breakdown on that. Josh Ball was terrible though. I know that for sure. I just know Josh Ball was terrible, and I wasn't even watching him close. But I just couldn't help but to know that Josh Ball was absolutely terrible. Anyway, come on in. Some more of y'all come on in on the Voch side and on the Bleacher Report side. Appreciate y'all. This is what we gonna do, man. I got 3 ups and I got 3 downs to talk about today. I appreciate y'all for being here. Let's start with some downs, man. We already talked about Josh Ball, and we already talked about some of the offensive line characters, man. Listen. There's no way you can have confidence in this offensive line from what you've seen, right? We already knew that, Josh Ball was a guy that we don't really have a lot of confidence in. But, boy, why is this important? Because if Zach Martin goes down, we're staring Josh Ball in the face, right? Now, when we get into draft season and I have these conversations with everybody, I sound very O-line homerish when I say things like, well, maybe we should draft an offensive lineman in the top 3 every single year. And I know that it's sexy to go and get wide receivers. It's cute to go and get tight ends and running backs and all these types of characters and pass rushers, your favorite little pass rushers. But when you're in these situations where you got your first guys, all right, cool. An offensive line as a whole around the whole league is bad. You run into these situations where these 4th round picks, these 5th round picks, these 6th round guys, they're just not enough. And Forniak, Austin Richards, Josh Ball, Matt Waletzko, they're all day 3 guys. And look, we can feel okay about them as, backup guys, kind of depth guys, rotation type guys. But we live in this world where Tyron Smith says, ouch, every single year. I mean, that's just the reality. That's just the world that we live in. We live in this world where, Zach Martin may miss a game or 2, where Tyler Smith may have to go play left tackle. So just based on looking at what my offensive line was doing, I was not very encouraged at all. I just wasn't, having good vibes about my offensive line. What I will say this, though, I will take every opportunity to laugh and point fingers at Cooper Rush because, there was this big fan base behind Cooper Rush and some of the, things that he wasn't doing. But I know that Dak Prescott can be a top quarterback with the 32nd, pass rush win rate offensive line. But boy, Cooper Rush can't. Oh, goodness. And man, I think we're having quarterback problems all over the place. Mind you, I'm just getting these 2 bads out the way so I can just gush for the rest of the stream. Y'all, please be patient, everybody on the Vice side. Please, on the Bleacher Report side, we got some guys coming in. Please. Somebody on the Bleacher Report says, not BR writer. He says it's preseason. Who cares? You do, you here. Anyway, the bad part about quarterback play, right? And nobody expected Dak Prescott to play today, right? But the bad thing about quarterback play, the worst thing about Cooper Rush play and Will Grier play is that we walk into these games really wanting to know what Jalen Brooks is going to be like. We really wanted to know what Turpin is going to look like. You know, Dennis Houston kind of got his catches, but we were so curious. When Cooper Rush was in the game, I didn't expect any wide receiver to do anything because Cooper Rush was in the game. When Cooper Rush threw at wide receivers, bad things happened. Besides that, he was dumping the ball off to Malik, he was dumping the ball off to Rico, and he was throwing that thing to Jake Ferguson. We're going to talk about Jake Ferguson a little bit later when we talk about some of these guys that have stepped up into their role and they're doing fantastic things. But quarterback play, man, and typically I wouldn't care about quarterback play, you know, but I really wanted to see what Jalen Brooks looks like with some competent, you know, with some competent quarterback play. There were some dudes on this roster. Let's just get into it, man, because y'all ain't finna sit up here and let me talk about Cooper Rush and daggum Grier all day. I will say about Will Grier, once he got settled in, he did fine, but if anything gets off schedule, Will Grier starts to look terrible. And he started to spam John Stevens. Now, let me just tell you how my confidence works. Like, I'm so confident as draft guy, and I appreciate the Cowboy YouTube online situation community. I love when y'all come to me and y'all trust my, you know, film analysis and things like that. And I almost got big in the chest. I almost got confidence. Say, I'm going to find me some John Stevens film and I'm going to break it down. No, I did not. I searched all over the place and I tried to sell my soul for some John Stevens college film and I couldn't find it. So y'all just gonna have to understand. I mean, y'all just gonna have to live with that, you know, we just know him as a Cowboy and nothing else. But Will Grier kept spamming John Stevens. If he couldn't find nobody else, he found John Stevens and he kept throwing to him. What's gonna be very important is how these moving up the depth chart in terms of the battles go, right? Because now John Stevens is going against like these, you know, third team guys. At some point, I expect John Stevens to compete more with Sean McEwen, to compete, not necessarily compete with Luke for like a roster spot, right? Because, I mean, God damn, man, Schoonmaker's a second round pick. Schoonmaker's a second round pick, and we didn't even see him till like the end of that first half, like in the 2-minute drill or whatever. And then we really saw him in the second half. But I'm just talking about just competing in terms of, you know, we're in a preseason game and it's me versus you. I'll give you a perfect example, right? Deuce Vaughn ain't running back 2 yet. He's not running back 2 yet, but the first thing that popped up in my mind was, boy, Malik Davis is on notice. Boy, Malik Davis, think about Malik Davis, right? Malik Davis walked into this thing, and we had a natural running back progression, right? Zeke goes away, Tony goes up. Malik Davis, who's a third team guy, kind of moves up one go, right? Malik Davis walked into this offseason as like, hey, you got real game reps. You know, Rico Dowdle's been hurt guy. Hunter Lipke is a fullback running back guy that we're trying to see what he is for you. Deuce Vaughn was...
Did you hear what I said?
Deuce Vaughn was unknown at the time, right? So Malik Davis is a guy that's existing for you, and we're looking at Malik Davis as running back 2. Boy, as the world turns, boy, you just keep on trucking. Boy, you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. We go into this, preseason setup, and they release the unofficial depth chart. We say, Rico Dowdle is running back number 2. Now, I remember watching film on Rico Dowdle, South Carolina Rico Dowdle. Shouts out to Rico Dowdle, right? I was a fan of Rico Dowdle, but he's a guy that's been hurt since he's been here. So how can we really have faith in Rico Dowdle if we really haven't seen him? Cowboys love him. Cowboys love Rico Dowdle to pieces. Now, I agree that they should, but we've at least seen Malik Davis in the game. So going into this, we saw Malik as the second guy, Rico Dowdle as the third guy, and then they just threw the rookies at the bottom of the depth chart because who cares? They just put Deuce Vaughn and just put Hunter Lipke down bottom. Then preseason happened, dog. Now listen, Malik Davis, by no means is your life over. By no means is your career over. Let me just pull up these stats real quick because we ain't doing nothing else. Malik Davis went 4 carries and 3 yards. Did he catch anything? Malik Davis was 4 for 19, and I don't even count those as like meaningful catches. I just think those just catches because, I mean, what else was Cooper Rush going to do? He was just scrambling around, and those just emergency things, right? So that's what Malik Davis did. Rico Dowdle came into the game, right? Well, he was just like, getting involved in the game, and we had some type of confidence about Rico Dowdle because Cowboys love Rico Dowdle as, running back 2 type guy, right? Rico Dowdle came in with his 6 carries and his 21 yards. Now, mind you, chat, at the time, Rico Dowdle's 6 carries for 21 yards was very impressive. But chat.
City boy! City boy!
But chat. Oh. Did y'all see Deuce Vaughn? Did y'all see Deuce Vaughn, boy? Chess reminded me that Rico Dowdle fumbled. Rico fumbled, but it was because Tolbert was fighting for his life. We'll take a look at Tolbert later. I know fumbles are going to happen sometimes, and fumbles can be the deciding factor in a lot of these battles because, just the smallest of a mistake can happen here. But what I was most satisfied with Rico is that when Rico was running the ball, Rico at least looked good when he was running the ball. Rico at least, 6 for 21? He was at least 6 for 21. And that was impressive until Deuce got the ball. Now, chat, I don't want to be a homer here because I know the Voch Lombardi side is not gonna, y'all not gonna blame me right now. Y'all are not gonna put homer on me. But I'm gonna look over at this Bleacher Report chat, and I just know that they about to put homer on me. I know they about to call me a homer because of what I'm about to say. When I was watching film during draft season, right? Because in real life I am draft guy. I'm talking to the Bleacher Report guys. Y'all already knew this. This is Voch side. This Bleacher Report. When I was watching Deuce Vaughn, the commentary around him was about being short. And I wanted to constantly remind people that Deuce wasn't little. He was just short, right? If Deuce Vaughn was 6 foot, 5'10", 5'11", we would be talking about Deuce Vaughn in the same exact conversation that we would have been talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. Bijan, you can say whatever you want to about Bijan, but some people like Jahmyr better than Bijan. We ain't here to talk about that. But just as a running back, right? You can hit me with all of the self-imposed pessimism you want to, because sometimes Cowboy fans put that, they create their own pessimism, right? Well, Voch, what running back is these 300-pound players gonna run and Deuce gonna explode? Well, when we were watching film on Alabama on the Voch Lombardi YouTube channel, we were watching film on Alabama, we were watching film on Texas with Overshown, watching film on Oklahoma with, national championship contender TCU. Deuce Vaughn was not looking like a little kid versus these guys. Deuce Vaughn was smoking these kids and all the other Big 12 guys. And even when Kansas State played against SEC talent, Deuce Vaughn was there. He's a little muscle. He's a dude. He's just short. He's just a little bitty, right? It just looks different when Deuce Vaughn gets the football, right? Malik Davis just looked like whatever. Rico Dowdle got the ball. Rico had some juice, but Rico looked like he had some juice because he was well rested, right? Rico been hurt guy. He's just well rested. But man, Deuce was making guys miss. Deuce was running in between the tackles. Deuce was cutting back and he was reading with fantastic vision. Deuce was making big plays in the open field. It's hard for those safeties to really key in on Deuce because he's so low to the ground. That's the first thing that they teach you in football school. Low man wins. We talk about leverage all the time in football, right? And then Deuce started catching the football and Deuce started blocking better. That's another thing about Malik. Malik missed a blocking assignment and got Cooper Rush sacked early in the game. It's these small details that'll get you bumped down the depth chart, right? So walking into this thing, I don't think a lot of us, I ain't gonna say that, but just many people didn't really think that Deuce was like competing for running back too, right? They thought that Deuce was gonna be a guy that was around. They thought that Deuce was gonna be a guy that was gonna compete, that he was gonna kind of mix himself into that room and work himself into the rotation over time. Deuce put his size 6 cleat. Deuce put the smallest cleat in the world in the sand and he drew a line and he dared Rico Dowdle. He dare Malik Davis. Hunter Lipke's not involved here. He dared those guys to do something about it. And he was the most explosive player on the field. Was he the most explosive player like the whole night? I mean, Turpin was around, and we gonna talk about Turpin. we're gonna talk about Turpin. But dog, like, Deuce may have been the most explosive offensive player on the Cowboys offense tonight. I mean, chat in the Voch side, let me know. Chat in the Bleacher Report side, let me know. Every time he caught the ball, he caught the ball, he touched the ball, he was impressive. And I like to lean on this one thing too. Like, when you give a player the ball, good things happen. Every time Deuce Vaughn touched the ball, good things happen. When a D lineman runs free or Josh Ball's stinking up the place, I mean, that's different. But Deuce, I looked at Deuce tonight, and Deuce didn't look like a third teamer. Hunter Lipke looked like a third teamer. Malik Davis looked like he deserves to be running behind Hoffman and them. He looks like one of those guys. Deuce looks like a dude to where he's worked himself up this rotation like I was explaining earlier. So what does that mean? He hasn't taken a spot away. But in terms of evaluation, what I want to see next week versus the Raiders, right? What I want to see next week is, instead of Deuce Vaughn running versus the third team guys, I want to see Deuce running versus second team Raiders guys, or even first team Raiders guys, because Malik and Rico Dowdle, they both rotated early in the game, right? They rotated and they both got a chance to see, that number one Jags defense. I need to see Deuce Vaughn versus that number one Raiders defense, that number two Raiders defense, just so I can know. By the time we get to game 3, we'll really have an idea what Deuce Vaughn is, and we really can't just lean on this excuse of, well, I haven't seen enough Deuce in the preseason. That'll be nonsense if we ever said that. Honestly, if I could be real for a minute, if I could just cut the music off, we can go ahead and wrap it up and save Deuce until New York. Honestly, really? Who needs to see more Deuce right now? We can really just hold this. Like, right now in my mind, and look, I'm no coach and I'm just some dude on YouTube and Bleacher Report, right? In my mind, just let Deuce be RB2. Deuce has earned RB2 within what? Let me go look at his numbers. We ain't doing nothing else. Deuce Vaughn, 8 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown. That's 6.2 yards per carry. I feel like he got many more catches than this, but he got 3 catches for 6 yards, right? Now, 2 of the catches were Will Greer's, just stinking up the place, right? And let me tell you what's so impressive about Deuce Vaughn and his pass catching, right? Will Greer overthrew people all day. Every time I saw Will Greer throw to somebody, they was reaching and falling and jumping and scampering and diving. Cavante Turpin was getting his pants and his jersey all grassy because Will Greer just overthrowing people. Deuce Vaughn, the shortest man on the team, catching back shoulder fade jump balls on the 10-yard line because Will Greer overthrowing it. Deuce Vaughn is good enough to overcome Will Greer's nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. He's running back 2 right now for me, for Voch. Anyway, man, I'm not gonna sit up here and talk about Deuce Vaughn all night. I can sit up here and talk about Deuce Vaughn all night, man, but I'm not gonna get into that game. I'm not gonna do that because I'll get too excited. Now, what are we gonna do here? Can I produce something on the fly? How about this? Let's produce something on the fly. Let's do this. I got my Bleacher Report producer Ryan having a panic attack right now. He's like, "What you mean, Voch producing something on the fly?" Well, Voch is a YouTuber, and you know what I'm saying. You YouTubers do YouTube things, right? I'm going to do this. Boom, boom. And I'm going to go to this right here. And we're going to watch a little bit of Deuce Vaughn while I continue to talk about some of the other players that went kind of crazy today. Just other guys stepping up, just other guys that's getting into that role that, we can finally be proud of these guys. We can finally, shout some guys out here. Jalen Tolbert, man. Can I get a war call for Jalen Tolbert? My word. I know I give Jalen Tolbert a hard time because in the Green Bay game, when it was time, it was time to put up a shut up. It was time to put up a shut up, and somehow Jalen Tolbert ended up on the field. And I was like, what Jalen Tolbert doing on the field? And he lined up off sides. Like, Jalen Tolbert literally lined up at daggum free safety. Right? Jalen Tolbert made me sick. And you know, we just heard about all of the, hey, too much was put on his plate. You know, he got a big case of the rookie yips, right? Jalen Tolbert just wasn't ready for everything that they was trying to put on his plate, man. But Jalen Tolbert looked like a dude that took this thing seriously, man. Jalen Tolbert went into the offseason and he got it done. He got it done, man. He worked out with Dak. You know, Dak has a Dak yard. Of course, y'all know that, but somebody watching may not have known that. He worked out in the Dak yard. He got with Dak. When you listen to Brian Schottenheimer, he was blown away with all the improvements that, you know, Tolbert made. He was like, hey man, whenever y'all get a chance, man, y'all need to look at Jalen Tolbert's notebook and just look at all the notes that he's made. Look at all the highlights and all the improvements that he's made, right? Jalen Tolbert finally looked like the dude that we all scouted, right? The draft guys, all the other guys that were looking into Jalen Tolbert when he was coming out of South Alabama, right? We looked at Jalen Tolbert and said, hey, Jalen Tolbert is a dude. He can line up inside and outside, hands catcher. He loves to navigate within those zones. Very smart, heady player working in those zones. He's a deep ball threat. And Jalen Tolbert is a guy that's, you know, jump ball guy. So we should be using Jalen Tolbert like that. But one things that I always gave Jalen Tolbert credit for is that he overcame a lot of quarterback nonsense because he was playing in South Alabama, right? And in that one drive, the one drive where Jalen Tolbert had the deep pass that didn't count, but everybody on social medias and Twitters and X's was, you know, we were in unison. We were all in tandem saying, hey, y'all saying that catch don't count as a catch, but for us, that catch definitely counts as a catch, right? Jalen Tolbert, whether it be hands catching, whether it be working that zone, whether it be making tough catches, whether it be being a deep ball, making the jump ball, then at the end catching a touchdown from the slot position, right? Readjusting his route, working that leverage, you know what I'm saying, getting into the end zone. I looked at that one drive from Tolbert, and I was like, man, that's the dude that we was looking at, man. That's the dude from South Alabama that we was scouting. That's the guy. That's the guy. We haven't seen that guy because he was too busy lining up at free safety. He was too busy lining up at free safety, dog. But I was so impressed with Jalen Tolbert. He's a guy stepped up, and I don't need to see any more Jalen Tolbert. I think going into the Giants game, I think he's firmly wide receiver 4 now. That's just my opinion. Some people are going to say that he's competing with Michael Gallup for wide receiver 3 or something like that.
It's false. No way. Not this time.
No.
We created it.
He's not.
Not this time.
Stop.
No, not this time.
No.
It's totally made up.
He's not competing with Michael Gallup or anything, ladies and gentlemen. But I will say this: if Michael Gallup goes down, I do feel a great deal of confidence that if Jalen Tolbert gets in the game, that I think Jalen Tolbert would be fine. Somebody on Twitter, they was tweeting me, all right, Voch, you need to see Jalen Tolbert versus a real NFL defense. I'm like, dog, that is one. That is one. Jalen Tolbert is a 4th receiver playing against a 4th corner or 3rd corner right now. If Jalen Tolbert gets in the game in the regular season, who y'all think he gonna be covered by? I mean, damn, dog. Let's just be realistic here. But anyway, Jalen Tolbert, and Jake Ferguson, man, you know, there was no look when Cooper Rush ain't had nobody else to throw to. He was throwing the ball to Jake Ferguson, and he was looking ready. Cooper Rush was trying to get Jake Ferguson killed over the middle on that one pass. I mean, it was the right pass, it was the right read, but damn, don't get Jake Ferguson killed in preseason, Cooper Rush. But hey, it is what it is. When Cooper. And I think that's what I like about what we saw from Jake Ferguson, which is really a great Dak trait, right? Like if we can't find anybody else, and to be fair, Cooper Rush ass wasn't finding nobody else, we can find Jalen Tolbert. Pardon me, Jake Ferguson. Because I'm excited. We can find Jake Ferguson. We could just find Jake Ferguson, man. And Jake was a guy that stepped up, and Schoonmaker was a guy that we didn't even see until late in the first half and going into the second half or whatever, right? We just saw a lot more Ferguson, a lot more Hendershot. So it is what it is there. Let's see what else we got. Turpin and yeah, we read Turpin and look. So I know a lot of y'all was like, "Yo, Voch, Turpin fumble. How you feel?" Respectfully, I don't think this is anything against Turpin. I just think Turpin needs to understand that less is more. Anytime, and I shouldn't be giving any kind of advice to Turpin right now, because I've been pretty critical of Turpin, and if I'm going to be, hey, I told you so guy, if I was going to be right guy, then I can lean on this whole Turpin thing or whatever. But I think Turpin's biggest problem is that he wants to do a little too much before his time, right? Yeah. So when Turpin caught the kickoff, the kick return or whatever, he was slipping and sliding, he was turning and shucking and dancing the ball all up in the air. And like, Turp, if you really just hold on to the ball and just be fast regular, like you ain't got to be Usain Bolt, you ain't got to be the fastest man in the league. Just be faster than them. Hold on to the ball, protect it, and just run your race, man. But every time Turpin's ever put the ball on the turf, he was simply doing too much. Now, they got to coach that out of him. I will say this. Yo, Turpin, if you can't hold on to the ball, Deuce Vaughn can. I tell you what. Hey. If you can't hold on to the ball, Deuce Vaughn. Hey, Deuce Vaughn was slick out there, boy. Deuce Vaughn was weaving out there. Boy, Deuce Vaughn looked like he was swimming. It looked like he was, hold on, I got a button. I got a button.
That boy swimming his ass over there.
Hey, man, Deuce Vaughn looked like he was swimming over there, man. But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about Deuce Vaughn. Let's see, what else happened? O-line was terrible. Next week, Vaughn and Dowdle. Let's talk about the defense, man. I was incredibly proud of my defense. Chat, can we talk for a minute? Let me turn off my music. Chat, can we be real for a minute? Voch side, Bleacher Report, can we be real for a minute? I understand that national media loves to make a big deal out of Dak Prescott throwing picks at practice. Is anybody going to make a big deal out of Trevor Lawrence throwing a pick in the game? Anybody? And listen, I sympathize with you. I understand because I'm human as well. I'm human. I stand with you. I know what you're going to say. Watch this. But Voch, Trevor Lawrence threw a pick in the preseason game. It don't count. Dak throwing a pick in practice don't fucking count. I'm just saying. I ain't gonna do nothing else, dog. I'm just gonna stay focused here. But let me tell you about this early defense that went out there. This defense, the safeties weren't out there. Van Der Esch wasn't out there. D-Law and Michael weren't out there. And of course, both your corners. I saw a couple people on chat. I mean, in the social media streets, Twitter and all that, they were saying, damn, man, this shell of a Cowboys defense can be a starting defense in the league somewhere. And I thought it was hyperbole. I thought they was just exaggerating a bit, right? I thought y'all was just trying to be cute, trying to be funny. But then I thought about it. The D tackles were mostly intact, right? But Sam Williams, Osa was there. Bo and Chauncey and Osa had like a series or two. And you know, that was, you know, your starting core, right? Like those guys mostly start for you besides Sam Williams. Sam don't really start. And you know, Mozzie played. But besides that though, you just kind of had some backups. And you really put hands on that starting Jacksonville offense. Now Jacksonville's running some very, you know, vanilla preseason looks, but so are, you know, Dan Quinn's not going to run, you know, the best stuff right there, right? But I feel like if we had to run into that Jacksonville offense, right, with Deron Bland as an outside guy, Eric Scott, you know, Kelvin Joseph playing nickel, in which Kelvin Joseph made some pretty good plays. The makeshift defense that we ran out there versus that starting offense. Calvin really was out there. ETN was out there. All the guys were out there, right? I think your guys did pretty well versus those guys, right? And you really got 2 stops versus that first offense. But the problem was Kevontae Turpin had a turnover. Those guys kind of, you know, those wheels kept going. It just is what it is. Things happen, right? But man, you just see what you guys did. Man, Overshown just stepping into that role. Overshown was good. You look at Damone Clark, every play that went anywhere, Damone Clark was close to it. Good. good. We know, Deron Bland is a guy, led your team in picks last year with 5 of them. He's playing an outside corner, covering a wide receiver 1 in Calvin Ridley. Hey, look fine. In real life, that's Diggs and Gilmore, but Deron Bland, hey, he looked fine versus Calvin Ridley, right? Trevor Lawrence threw a pick versus Wanye Thomas fighting for his life. Hey, look, it's preseason. It's preseason. But the point of preseason is to walk out of preseason going, hey, which one of these young dudes look good? Damone Clark looked good. Overshown looked good. Mozzie looked tired. But that's what he's here for. Hey, yo, look, it's funny, right? Mozzie started off really, really good. Mozzie's first quarter versus the first team Jacksonville guys. Hey, look, Mozzie was clogging the holes. He was freeing up, running. And look, I even wrote this down, right? Did Clark and Overshown go so crazy because the interior D lineman did so well? Let me watch film and get back to you on that, right? But Mozzie looked fine versus the first team guys, but then somebody hit me and said, hey, Voch, why does Mozzie look like he getting worse? Because Mozzie tired, bro. They got Mozzie in there really, getting his reps. If I had to guess, and somebody can double check me on this, if I had to guess, Mozzie probably played, 50 snaps tonight? He played 4 quarters. In real life, in the real game, Mozzie's only going to play, 30-something snaps? If that, 25-something snaps. So you ain't got to worry about Mozzie getting tired in real life. Mozzie will be fine. Let's do this. Y'all have any more questions? Do y'all have any more questions? Ryan, text me and let me know if I can go another 5 more minutes just to get some questions in. Just to get a little Q&A on both sides here. Dadgummit, boy. Hold on. Let me get one of my sound drops ready. Y'all just go ahead and put them questions, man. Let me go ahead and get Zach Golston in here. Zach Golston dropped 2 bands in the goddamn PayPal, boy.
Take care of y'all bodies. You take care of y'all chicken.
Can we get flames in the chat for Zach Golston? Hey, Zach, if you meant to drop 200, send me an email. So I'm just gonna leave this in here. If you meant to drop 200, send me an email. But Zach put 2 bands in here. Zach, just send me an email. Just let me know. But Zach said, Sir Voch, miss you in the show. Haas, that means my friend. I understand what that means. Watched a few videos here and there throughout the offseason, but dadgummit, we bike. What up, chat? That's Zach Golston talking to both of y'all, Bleacher Report and Voch. He said, what up, chat? How about them Cowboys? P.S. Even though I may be white as the driven snow, you can best bet my pasty ass would have been walking across that river. To have your back. Hey, yo, Zach. Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you, Zach. Oh, man, Zach said he would have been Aquaman. Zach said he would have been Aquaman. All right, here we go. Let's get some Q&A in. Y'all have any questions? Kyle says, what do you think about John Stevens? John Stevens is very unassuming, but he caught everything thrown at him, and Will Greer seems to trust him. I hope that John Stevens gets an opportunity to prove himself against some better competition, because he's one of those sneaky characters that can come in and just get some work in. Smorts on the Bleach Report side says Rico looks ahead of Malik Davis. Yes. If you asking me, in which is not really me right now, I would still say that the Cowboys value Rico Dowdle as RB2, but Deuce is RB3 right now. Deuce there is no world, because look, y'all remember back in the day, Jason Garrett used to politic a little bit. Jason Garrett used to be like, hey, I know this new corner is here, but we're going to roll with Nolan Carroll. We're going to roll with, those guys because they veterans and they deserve to be here. And you know what I mean? Jason used to do that all the time. I don't think there's a world where we can look in this, we can look at this and be like, yeah, Deuce is still going to have to sit behind Malik Davis. And look, chat, y'all want to hear something funny? Voch side, y'all want to hear something funny? Bleach Report side, y'all want to hear something funny? Somebody was like, Voch, what about Ronald Jones? Hey, cuz, don't ask me about Ronald Jones, dog. The hell wrong with y'all? Oh, man. Any other questions on the Bleach Report side? Are we done with Aubrey after he missed the PAT? I don't know, man. But I tell you who ain't coming back. Brett Maher is not coming back. Brett Maher is done. You hear me? You hear me? Let's get into some of these supers. Because I know y'all have some really good questions over there. Here we go. Give it away. Today's the 12th. Let's do this. Juan Cooper dropped 5 and says, Deuce out there giving grown folks the business. Oh, wait a minute, talk about. He says Deuce out there giving grown folks the business in Oshkosh pads and cleats. The Oshkosh Bagosh pads and cleats. I be damn. Appreciate you, Juan. Bread Boy dropped 3 deuces. That's 6 altogether. He says, Voch, did you check on your little brother Cavante Turpin? And then he sent another one saying the exact same thing. Then he says, I would like to see Deuce Vaughn as a returner, not Turpin. Let Deuce come out here and have another one of these games, but then let Turpin come out there and not do anything offensively. We'll see. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. Adrian Lindsay dropped a deuce and says Lawrence threw an interception to a camp body. Hey, Wanye Thomas trying to make this team, though. Wanye is fighting for his life to make this team, and he's more of a free safety guy. So I know Wanye's fighting Tyler Coyle. Izzy didn't play much safety today. Like Izzy actually played corner and he played all day. But Wanye's looking like your backup free safety guy. So I don't think Wanye going anywhere, honestly. Appreciate you, Adrian. Dontrell Manning dropped a deuce and says Tolbert had a helping of off-season peanut butter. Indubitably, sir. Let me check back on the Bleacher Report side. Mr. Leotis, what's up, Mr. Leotis, holding us down, leaving the Voch side to come hold us down on the Bleacher Report side. Appreciate you, sir. He says, any offensive lineman stand out? No, but just allow me to watch the film and I'll give you a full report this week. Thank you, sir. Tyrone Lockwood says, what do you think of Overshown? Overshown was all over the place. Overshown's still a raw product. You know, he's still not a refined football player. But the one thing you can count on is that he's long range and he's going to fly to the football. And he may be a dude that, you know, makes mistakes or whatever, but you can at least count on Overshown to like sprint to the football, whether he's wrong or right. You understand? So there's that, you know, appreciate you. U.S. Marine Corps 0331. Appreciate you. Thanks for your service. He dropped 5 and says, does Deuce give you that Barry Sanders vibe? Yes.
It's false. No way.
Of course.
Not this time. We created
He's
it.
better.
Not this time. No.
Tony Pollard better watch out.
It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction.
Yeah.
It's fiction. We made it up.
Hall of Fame already.
It's a made up.
Should have been a first round
pick.
pick.
Total fabrication.
Hell yeah.
It never happened.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, sir. Smoke one for you. Drop 5 says, Voch, Deuce, John Stevens, Thomas, Overshown, and Clark will be monsters. We are a problem. Salute, sir. Appreciate you, sir. Airborne Bullies dropped a Hyundai. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you for everything that you do on my show and on Master Will Steele show. Appreciate you. Skywalker Steele on all social medias. A to Z Dallas in the morning on YouTube. Damone Clark, hold on, he says Demo and Clark. So that's DeMarvin Overshown and Clark are the future. Hey, I tell you what, if this is a look of what your future linebacker core look like, 2 things I will say. When Van Der Esch is gone, I think you're in good hands. It's looking sad for Jabril Cox, man. It's looking sad for Jabril Cox, man. I know y'all love Jabril Cox, but damn, we can only save him for so long. Willie T says, "Are we seriously hyping Deuce? Boy, get your ass on. Hell yeah, we hyping Deuce. Where you been? Where was your antennas?" I'm gonna refresh Super Chats 2 more times. We're gonna wrap this stream up. Appreciate y'all. Sean McEwen can kick rocks. I'll take Stevens. Come on, Nick. Slow down. That's Nick dropping the 5. Appreciate you. Let's look back on Bleacher Report. My thoughts on John Stevens being tight end 2 over Hendershot to make the team. He was super reliable in this game. I think he was very reliable. And, if we, I understand Cowboys got PTSD from Hendershot dropping passes, but I just think Hendershot's a more refined player right now, you know, and Hendershot got that year in with Dak. So I would love to see John Stevens compete, though. I would love to see him compete. But the real question is, what can John Stevens do for you on kicking teams? That's the real conversation. But I don't think he's gonna push Hendershot at all. I think his fight is with Sean McEwen, but the problem with fighting Sean McEwen is Sean McEwen play fullback also, and Sean McEwen is really good at fullback. And I don't think the Cowboys are going to carry 5 tight ends. So if John Stevens, you would have to hope that John Stevens either is a practice squad guy or he's a dude that gets a pinky injury and he's held out for the rest of the season and gets carried into the next season. Vice says, how do we tap into Bleacher Report? Hell, I'll hit share. Boom. If y'all want to support the Bleacher Report side, there you go. Go ahead and tap into the Bleacher Report side. Appreciate y'all. Y'all ain't doing that. Or just go to Bleacher Report and or just go to Bleacher Report and on the app and go to Cowboys community page or whatever, or the highlights page, and you'll see me. I'll be right there. I'll be right there. Ryan, man, we got to talk to the guys, man. We got to Bleacher Report, be like Voch Lombardi reacting to, Cowboys preseason. You know what I mean? We just can't be like some YouTube dudes talking about the Cowboys. Maybe the name Voch Lombardi brings some views, man. I'm just assuming. Just guessing. But anyway, let's get back into the supers. I'm gonna refresh it one more time and then we're gonna wrap up. No more supers. I'm hitting one last refresh and then we're gonna wrap up. But I thank y'all for supporting us. Overshawn looked very sharp and instinctive. Appreciate you, Chris. He does. He just kind of got that nose for the football, but I think Overshawn's problem is gonna come from misdirection. Different motions, different reads and play actions and things like that. But that's just what that is. Never Pull Out Shaq says he needs Voch's tweets on Bleacher Report. Ryan, let him know. TC on the drums, try to 5. It says Dallas Cowboys football is back, baby. Now toss Josh Ball and Kelvin Joseph to get some depth at the interior offensive line. You want to cut Josh Ball? An interior offensive line? Nah, Kelvin Joseph had a pretty good game actually though. He had a pretty good game working out a nickel. Josh Ball, I cannot say the same. Buttery Tortilla dropped a dub. He says, I know it's early, but your thoughts on Big Mike's play calling? I think Mike McCarthy kept it pretty vanilla. I think Shanahan and Mike McCarthy, I think they kept it vanilla. I think they kept it held back. I don't think that they gave away anything that's worth looking at. We just kept it straight up and down, So, but hey, he called some solid plays, just got to execute, How do you think Marquise Bell did? Allow me to go back and watch the film, but I know he was out there running around with the third team guys, so I don't know. We'll see. Adrian White says Kelvin Joseph is horrible. Well, he was fine today. What you want me to say? He was cool. Calvin Jefferson dropped the 5 and says play call looked better than the last guy in preseason. Hey, I just think Cooper Rush is terrible all around, and I even got a little feisty. I got on Twitter and I said, hold on, let me get my music queued up. I was like, Cooper Rush did a good job of not turning the ball over to the other team. Because that's what these old goofy Cooper Rush fans be talking about, man. But whatever, man. What you want me to say? Shouts out to Cooper Rush, though. B dropped a dime and says, do you like the West Coast concepts and Shoddy clearing out those zones for easy throws? What's Dak going to do? I think when Dak's doing it, I think it's going to be much better looking, but Cooper Rush is bad and Will Greer panics when things break down. And Chris Gillian dropped a 5 and says, me watching Deuce. Yeah, they squabbling out there. You really got to be tuned into the Voch Lombardi show to know what that means. That's an inside joke. Appreciate you, Chris Gillian. Hey, man, I think that is all we got. Yes, it is. Chat, I just want to I'm looking over to the Voch Lombardi side, man. We got 1,600 live, and that's a hellified number compared to other programs, whatever. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, though. Listen, for everybody that's doing this right now, let's support the other side, right? So if you're on the Voch Lombardi side, I appreciate y'all for being here. I'm going to be like a I'm going to be doing a lot of Bleach Report drops, you know. So, hey, if y'all have the Bleach Report app, download it and make an account and all that, and tap in and put the Cowboys in your favorite recommended little buttons, and I'll be popping up on there. And look, they're going to take this live stream and they're going to chop this joint up in 6 different pieces, and they're going to keep putting out more Voch content. So, y'all tell Bleach Report to pay me a whole bunch of money so I can come back, you know, and do a lot more work now. Let them know. But go check me out over on that side. And if you're on the Bleach Report side and you are live over here and you're frequently tapping into those streams, hey, check me out on YouTube on Voch Lombardi and The Volume on you. Right there. Check me out. That's where I put most of my work. And if y'all want to see me break down film on this game, it's going to live on YouTube at Voch Lombardi and on The Volume. So please tap in with me on that. And follow me on my social medias, VOCHLOMBARDI. Salute to my Bleach Report producer for the day, Ryan. Salute to you, sir. And for the rest of y'all, man, y'all hold it down for the Doski Wilson and Peasky Whiskey. Until next time when I catch y'all. Peace.